G'day, good evening. How good was that West Tigers win? I mean, that Saturday, right? How good was that Tigers win? Okay. Obviously, millions of people are not feeling great. Today, rough night last night, and trying to process exactly what went wrong, what the future may or may not look like. Can I just say, at the start of this show, at the start of this next phase of the journey that the country goes on and the journey that we've been on now for more than 15 years, this next phase is not in any way about going to be criticising what we believe, okay? Will the Greens drop a want for free dental because Adam Bandt may or may not lose his seat? Of course not. There are fundamental things that we believe in. There's a fundamental worldview that we have, and it's one that you have every right to hold. The conversation that clearly has to happen, will happen, is to talk about the vessel with which millions of people trusted with their vote yesterday and its capacity to be able to harness that support and grow it into areas that clearly it has lost over a long period of time. Like all good friends, you have to tell the truth. And sometimes those truths are going to be uncomfortable, but I'm going to make this promise right now. This program, this station, will continue to do what every media organisation in the country should have as its central purpose each and every day, which is to hold powerful people to account. Because a government wins a majority of 1 seats or 100 seats does not mean you're never allowed to criticise them. It doesn't mean that you give them a free pass on every piece of legislation that they introduce and that you won't focus on the people who are inevitably left behind when a line is drawn this way or that way when it comes to policy. Now, something that I have focused our show on over the past few years is to always give you as much data as possible. So, if we've been following these weekly conversations, there is no surprise about the result. There is a surprise, of course, about the magnitudes, and that's demographics and a whole bunch of stuff that I'll bore you with later. But front and centre, this show, this program, this station will do what it has always done. And on this program, and me as a host, I will show you the data from the Bureau of Statistics that tells us how many people are working multiple jobs. I'll show you the data from the Bureau of Statistics when the inflation numbers come out, that while the headline's going to be good, the amount of money that you're having to pay over insurance has gone through the roof. When there's a report that tells us from the OECD about how our classrooms are some of the most disruptive in the developed world, I'm going to talk about it. When the NAPLAN results tell us that a third of Australian kids are not hitting the marks of basic literacy and numeracy, I'm going to talk about it. Now, will we, of course, find funny clips of people we disagree with saying and doing stupid things? You betcha. But also we're going to have the conversation that we have had on this program for 15 years. And I always talk about how I try to, in putting the show together and in sitting in front of the microphone each and every night, is to try to be the most honest show on television. And by that I mean, when I'm pissed off, you'll see it. When I'm happy, you'll see it. When there's good news to tell you, I'll tell you it. And when there are tough truths to discuss, we will do it. I am certainly and absolutely have never been arrogant enough to believe that mine is the only voice in the world and therefore I'm right about everything. Like any diet, you need lots of ingredients. Perhaps for me, a few less nuggets, but you get my point.